Well, I actually finished round 2 of the Mae Young Classic, and I'm just gonna put it out there. Now, the matches were not bad. The actual competitors were really great at what they did. And Kyrie Sane was the only wrestler that I cared about throughout the entire tournament. I didn't care about anybody else. I was thrilled and in tears when she won her final match. I love her that much. I never thought I would. But I'm going to be honest with you. This was pretty much a copy, cut, paste version of the Cruiserweight Classic. Serena Deeb, say what you will about her, she definitely did have a lot of heart, but she was the Brian Kendrick of this tournament. And the fact that Brian Kendrick lost, and then Brian Kendrick was like the last redemption guy. How he only had a certain period of time, had 3 more years before he would be old and stuff like that, and he had the redemption angle. The same thing with Serena Deeb. She had a redemption angle. The same angle, almost not the same angle, but somewhat similar to Brian Kendrick, except hers involved alcohol. That was the only difference. This was definitely a cut, copy, paste version of the Cruiserweight Classic, which was somewhat disappointing. But the performances themselves really picked up in round 2. I honestly enjoyed it. I really did. It was far better than round 1, because round 1 you felt like that these women were holding back. Round 2 it felt like they were literally taking. I mean, they were always taking it seriously, but it felt like they meant business. Now the final 2 that are actually in the final tournament that's going to happen on the 12th, which I may or may not watch depending on what will happen after Irma. But regardless of that, I will say that the fact that that Shayna Blazer happens to be the person she's going to compete against is going to be an amazing match. But a lot of people see a lot of corporate a lot of people see that this is some way that they're trying to push the whole UFC collaboration between them and UFC and WWE by having Shayna Blazer in there. Shayna Blazer is no longer an MMA fighter. She's a former MMA fighter. But I do see what they're talking about, and they're definitely trying to push the four horsewomen angle. But let's put it this way: you have 4 MMA fighters, and then you have 4 wrestlers that I am not sure whether or not has an MMA background or not. If they're trying to push that, it's going to be a one-sided thing, because it's a whole different dynamic. It's a whole different fighting style. So, yeah, I honestly do see that they're trying to bring that up. I'm seeing that they're trying to build that up. I get that. Shayna Blazer, in my opinion, is pretty much the female version of Brock Lesnar. She just is. She's supposed to be the dynamic monster of the tournament, the one that can take you down. As much as I love Shayna Blazer, I love Kyrie more, because Kyrie does not only does she make you love her more by how cheerful she is, she also has a ton of heart, and she's not afraid to go toe to toe with Shayna Blazer. I think it was a great. It was absolutely it's going to be a great match, and I'm happy that they are in the final 2. But as for the overall tournament, did it seem very predictable? Oh, yeah. Very predictable. There was one shocking match that I didn't really expect that was going to happen. Princessa Suhi versus Mercedes Menendez. I think it's Menendez or Menendez. I could be wrong. But Mercedes, I thought, was going to lose. I thought she was going to lose against Princessa Suhi. But Princessa lost against Mercedes. That was my biggest shocker of the entire tournament, was to see that happen. And I didn't really expect that. I really didn't. But as for the overall outcome, I'm actually happy to see Kyrie versus Shayna Blazer. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be an amazing match. We're going to see strong style versus MMA. I think and also that flying elbow, y'all, devastating and amazing. But before I end up closing out, I know I don't really mention the commentary much, and it's for good reason. There is zero chemistry between Jim Ross and Lita, zero whatsoever. Jim Ross is doing his best to keep up. Don't get it twisted. Jim Ross actually is a commentator for the American, I guess the American the American version of New Japan, when they actually do air it here on Access TV, he actually does commentate the American side of New Japan. So maybe they're trying to get him into these big tournaments, just like they get Mauro Ranallo into these big tournaments, because he actually does have a lot of experience calling fights on different channels. But other than that, there was zero chemistry with them, zero. And I wish that they didn't have JR there. I wish it was Renee Young. It would have been better if Renee was there with Lita and they would have been able to call the matches as they are. This is a match for women. This is a tournament. This is a Mae Young Classic for women. Why didn't you just have 2 women commentators? Not only that, it was really refreshing for them to actually have women referees, because we don't see that at all in the WWE. And the fact that we actually do have female referees is even better. Why didn't we have female referees throughout? Why did it have to go between men and women? Why can't it just be women? This is a women's tournament. It would make sense to have all women. But the thing is, they'll be like, well, it's excluding the men. I'm like, how is it excluding the men? This is a women's tournament. If this is the first women's tournament of its time, why don't you have all women? Why don't you have 2 women commentators as well as women refs? And you don't have to have all women refs. And at least they opened the floor for women to actually referee. And I thought that was great. But it would have been better with Renee. I'm just saying, it would have been far more chemistry, and it would have made something of each tournament when you had 2 women there. And I mean, I know it's different with Renee Young not being a wrestler, but the fact that she's a female commentator, and a really good one at that, it would have been great. It really would have been great to have her there. And maybe it would have given her some sort of audition, if you will, to actually take the place of Corey Graves for SmackDown Live. I would love to see that happen. For Renee to actually take the place of Corey Young instead of him going back and forth. Have Corey Young stay on Raw. Corey Graves. Having Corey Graves stay on Raw and have Renee Young take his place. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. But other than that, man, the tournament really wasn't all that bad. I absolutely love the outcome. I love the fact that Kyrie is going up against Shayna. But like I said, I've many reviews before that WWE loves these David versus Goliath matches. They absolutely love them. They just crave them. So I kind of see why this is happening. But as it being predictable, yes, it was highly predictable. Did it pick up round 2? Oh yeah, it really did. Well, the match is bad? Oh, no, by any means. But was the commentary bad? Yeah, it kind of was. But other than that, I enjoyed the tournament, and I am looking forward, when I can, to actually see the final round. Kyrie versus Shayna. I would love to actually see that, and I thought it was great. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts about the tournament in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts about this tournament in the comment section below, and let me know exactly how you feel about it and if you're looking forward to seeing the final round with Kyrie Sane versus Shayna Baszler. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. But other than that, y'all, I'm done here. Peace out. See you later.